Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Coach Karen Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. I want to give a shout out to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate all you do, but you are a vital part of these conversations. And today we're going to talk with Coach Karen, and she's going to get all up in our money. One of the things I love about these conversations with you, Coach, is that when you get up in my money, get up in my mind, and I begin to focus on different things within my financial well-being.
Journey, yeah, because that's what it is. It's a continuous investigation of what can be done better, what can be eliminated, what you want to take accounts for. That's what these conversations are about. And if people were to do anything that it needs to do, I mean, even me, because when I get here and I start talking, there's just so many things that flows that sometimes I go back and I was listening. My sister was laughing. She said, "You're watching your video?" I'm like, "Yeah," like I'm literally listening. And I'm like, "I said that? Terry said that?" Because you know what I mean? You gain things and you're like, this is good.
Yes, I mean these are great conversations. I've got the guy outside. Can you hear him with his leaf blower?
Barely. He's in the background.
Okay,
So
good.
turn on a little bit.
He just turned it off. So okay, all right. It seems like
Yeah, I forgot you guys don't have snow. I'm like, why is he blowing leaf? There's snow. Because when I got this one, it was snowing. But then I remember you guys.
Yes, in
You got leaves.
California we get leaves unless we're really up in the mountains. We do have mountains in California.
Okay, and
But
then you're in the snow.
I don't live in the mountains. You can put your foot on that.
You where it's nice and warm.
I did not move to California from Pennsylvania to live in the mountains. I could have lived in the mountains a lot cheaper in Pennsylvania. But that's neither here nor there. Let us continue our conversation. And I want to remind everybody to please share. We love it when you share. It makes us smile. So if you
Yes,
want to make us smile, just share out.
we do. We sure do.
Mhm. Yes.
We
So
sure do. We love when you come on. For the people who catch us on the replay, even if you don't say anything, oh, just say hi to us. Even if you don't have a question, say hi. We love it. We know you're watching, and we know you might be feeling shy or you don't want to really.
oh,
This
this
is
is
a hard
good.
subject. I know I teach and coach on a hard subject, but trust me, the more time you spend with it and the more things you do with it, it's not as tough anymore because now you're letting down some of the walls and you're allowing whatever needs to be done. Get that.
Yep.
All right.
We want to say hi to Cecilia. Cecilia
Hi,
says,
Cecilia.
yay, money. Yes, indeedy. You know, sometimes it just takes one little nugget to make a real difference
Yes.
in your
Yeah.
financial situation.
Yeah, it just changes how you look at things and you realize this mountain, this stuff that you were being afraid of for so long, it's really no need to be because once you put in the time and the consistent time, I just want you to know it's a consistent time for the planning that's happening this month. For most business owners are doing a lot of planning and they start way ahead of time. They're just kind of nailing things down right now this month. And if you aren't there, just get a pen and paper and start jotting down your notes. Because all this month I'm going to be talking about planning. All this month I'm talking about planning
You
for
better know I'm over here on my iPad with a
right
brand new page.
there. You go.
Karen going, okay, what's she gonna say today? Because I know it's gonna be good, and something's gonna be said today that I need to capture and put on my to-do list. So let's get this party started, guys. Are you ready?
Yeah. And just get it going. We're going to cover three things today. Like, what role do you play in your business? And number two, what role do you plan on playing eventually? Because usually the role you start with is not a role you end up in. You know what you want to be, but at the moment you might have to be is something else, and why. Understand why you want to be in that position. For the longest while, I was in the position just of sales and marketing in my company because I knew that I need that fuel to keep the business rolling. I wasn't looking at the CEO role yet. I wasn't looking at any one of those roles because although they're great and I put on that hat at times, my main focus was being the marketing and the sales rep, because without that, I won't be able to bring in the business that's needed to bring in, right? So let's get right on to it. So, what role do you play in your company? And then sometimes when I ask this question, people say, I do everything. I was like, yes, you might do everything, but I still want you to name the roles. So in your planning for 2021, and you write your marketing plan, and you know where your sales is going to lead to and how you're going to acquire it, like what a funnel going to look like. Because the truth is, if you didn't hear me last week, go back and listen to that. But you need to do the grand picture. You really need to write down every single thing, no matter how minute you think it is. Write everything down of what you're looking forward to in 2021. Write the whole big thing out. And usually it's just a story. It's you talking to yourself, telling you what you want to see happen in your business. And as you write, more things will come to you. And even if you finish and more come, get back in there and write it. And then eventually you want to go and, in high school, even in college, they'll say to you, summarize. You want to go in there and summarize and summarize and summarize it where you have it really tight. And when it's tight, that's when you go in and you get to separate and say, what's going to happen in my first quarter, second, third, and fourth quarter. And that's financial wise, that's mental wise, physical wise, emotional wise. You need to really pay attention to those things because each one affects each other. So you want to pay attention to all of them. Just don't do all three and then leave out the financial part, because a lot of business owners look after the physical, the mental, the emotional, and then they panic in the physical, in the money thing, because maybe they're feeling I'm being too greedy, or maybe I'm wanting too much money. Don't let that differ. You get in there and you look after all four, sorry, because they all roll off of each other. Now
Mm-hmm.
again, the role that you want to play is that we can talk about Justin, but the role that you're playing right now, if it's 7 roles, I want you to head up 7 roles, whatever those roles are. And under each role, I want you to have a job description for them. Because if you eventually want to build a team, that's you building out the team without hiring anybody. That's you working on the team that you eventually want to have. And in that 7, 6, or how many heading you might have to put in, you'll find your role eventually. But right now, you got 7 things that you got to do. That's fine. And probably 1 or 2 out of those 7 that you really love, that's okay. Even if you don't love the rest, I still want you to get in there. I still want you to make a job description. Let's talk about tools to do that. Get yourself on Indeed, get yourself on other hiring websites and see what they ask, what's the requirement, and pick out and choose whichever sounds like what your business would need and use that as a starting ground, and then keep refining it until it feels like what you want. If you want to hire a VA eventually, you have to understand what you want, because they come in so many shapes and forms. So you might get a tech VA, but she can't do the other things. Or you might get a Pacific VA that handles something that it seems great at the time, but you'd rather have one who can handle 2 things.
Okay, you need to tell people what a VA is. We know what it is, but
Okay. Yeah, sometimes I do go ahead and chit chat. A VA is a virtual assistant. It's somebody who comes, and they got different kinds. So I'm going to give you a couple. They will have the tech people who come in and look after all your tech. That's all they're responsible for. That's what they're good at. That doesn't mean they can handle copy or edit it. Now, they could handle both things, but some people only focus on one thing. So when you understand the job description and you put it out there and people apply and you have your questions and you concrete it down, you could know the right person you're hiring. You might want to have a VA who look after things like editing, things like design, and that sort of thing. VAs work in these areas too. When we think about an office assistant, we think about data and that sort of thing. And that's great. Some people, that's all they also do. They don't do anything else. This is their strength. And so companies will tell you at times, we've got 3 VAs, 3 virtual assistants, because if they deem that these people are really good in this specific area and the company's big enough to sustain themselves to hire out, it's still cheaper than having 3 people come into the office. So they'll see that way too. And that's going to lead into what we'll talk about budgeting next week.
So what you want to do is lay those roles out, so now you can find specialists
Mm-hmm.
for each task
Yes,
or a group of
yes. A
tasks.
group of tasks because they usually
Mhm.
group things up. And the VAs will tell you what they handle and what they take care of. They really will tell you if they have a website already, they'll tell you if you're just chatting in a group, they'll tell you what they, once you spend some time talking. Now, most of them give, even if it's 15 minutes, just to talk with you to see if your business and them are fit. And you don't have to feel bad booking a 15 minutes if you're not ready yet. This is research. This is allowing you to find out what your needs are. This is allowing you to make a really educated, well thought out plan for 2021. I want to see
I
you win.
see.
And this seems like tedious work, but it's must work. This is
Mhm.
must work to be successful.
So it's really interviewing personnel. And you have to think of it that way. You are now running a business. You need people to help you, and you're going to interview those people because everybody cannot successfully represent your brand.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All
Yeah.
right.
You're going to want a culture once you get things rolling. If
Mhm.
you're a strict person, nothing's wrong with getting somebody in there who's playful and who is funny and who enjoys
Especially if you're going to be answering the phone.
right? A good giggle. So don't get yourself too tied up in it. And that's why I talk about research, because when you
Mhm.
research, you get to find out things about you that you didn't even know exist in you too. You can have a little giggle underneath, but you never let it shine because you didn't think you could, because of maybe the background of work you came from and the strictness in your job profile before. So you're thinking, I have to bring that in my business. But really, I would rather have a more relaxed atmosphere. And you get to do that because it's your business. But you first have to work those things out. That's the only way who you are. And once you understand what role you're playing right now,
Mhm.
you go through the research getting it, because there's no I know what I play and that's it. You need to research. You need to go and find out. Finding out about ourselves is such a big job, and we don't like doing it because there's a lot of things in there we don't want to deal with, but it's important. All right, so that was number one. Number two is, what role do you plan on playing eventually? So once you went in and you find out these seven roles, you pick the one that you know that you'd love to play. I mean, this is the part I love. You get to go in and test them out because you've been doing each of them. And I want you to set up this list, right? Positive or negative, or name it whatever you like, playful, or I don't you like. Give it a name also. I don't like the positive, negative. I like a name that makes me giggle because that's my personality. So I want to put things that makes me laugh or make me feel whatever I want to feel, and things that don't. That sort of thing I'll put on my list, because then that makes my juices flow, right? Because now I can
Okay.
write all those things, versus when I think about positive and negative, I might be great writing all the positive and I'm like cringing on the negative. So I try to make the titles make me want to do it. So find that out for yourself. And then you weigh the pros and cons and you see which one is suited to you and your personality. Because there's things that the reason we procrastinate in any area is when we're finding ourselves doing things either that we don't love, we don't want to do, or we think it's too hard to do. That's
Mhm.
when we procrastinate. It's not because we want to, it's because we're finding out that it's too hard to do. Now, if you're a person like to push through, be honest with yourself and push through, because you're going to learn a lesson. If you're a person who you know that makes you frustrated and it won't get you anywhere and you wait days on it, let it go. But
Mhm.
still got a working category for it. Because when you do hire somebody in that area with that thing, you'll have some idea. And actually, they will bring something to the table that when you chat with them, you realize it wasn't so hard after all. It's not because you're going to take back the role, but they're going to make it really soft for you to land, because this is their expertise. This is what they love. So they're going to bring it to you in a loving, fun way, because this is what they do. Bookkeeping is boring as heck. Everybody knows it. But if you like numbers like me, the part where you're doing a lot of numbers, you are excited, especially when you save somebody money or you find money for the person, or you say this is how you can structure your get payment back in the business. You're like happy, right? It's boring.
Yeah. Cecilia says, true, procrastinating because it's too hard or you don't understand something.
Mhm.
All you need is more information.
Yeah.
And when we do that, when we get the information, we're able to move forward, coach.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
But if you don't even know what questions to ask,
It's hard. It's like when I first come online and people say, well, just go to Google and put it in. But what I might be thinking, that's not what I can find it when I put it in Google. I had to learn that. And I took classes. I'm a class girl. Maybe that's what I'm teaching. Like I took a class in Facebook ads. I took a class in several classes, by the way, in Facebook ads, running Facebook ads, like intense classes, like 3-day classes, then full blown full year just with other things that I was taking together. And Google search, like how to search Google, Yahoo, and I can search engine and optimization. Like I took programs in those things because I felt so lost that I wanted somebody to show me, why am I putting in this word? How is this going to work for me? Those things are important.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, when I wasn't online yet, I just wanted to know these things for myself. And I see how my training just shows up in everything that I teach because I've learned and I keep improving. This is the thing. Once you learn, you got to improve on it, right? And
Yeah.
so you need to know, it's like if you go to YouTube, if I'm setting a student to YouTube, I usually got a pack of videos that I myself went through, understand. So I don't want them to go waste time on YouTube just putting in anything. I want it to be strategic. This is what I want you to go learn. This is what you're learning. Here's why you're learning it. And here's how you're going to apply what you're learning. Okay? You need to know time. So this really, really and truly allow you to figure out what role you want to play. When you decide on the role you want to play, you can have that role on a subcategory. But as soon as the company can afford it, you want to start giving it to the expert to handle so that you can play your role very well.
Say that again.
As soon as you understand what role you're going to eventually play, you want to hone in on that role. You want to really be dedicated to that role. You can have a subcategory if you'd like to, but you really want to hone in so that you can allow the other people that you've hired to really and truly do their job,
So
and you're not micromanaging them.
okay, so let me see if I understand what you just said. It sounds to me like you said, find your lane, stay in it, and let the other people run the course in their lane that you've hired them to run in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and just focus on what you do best
That's it.
or what you love.
That's it.
And so now you can see the value of assigning roles to others,
Mm-hmm.
the roles that you don't want.
Yes.
It's sort of like putting together, I love to do analogies. Let me see if I can paint this picture in a way that's easy for me to understand.
Mhm.
It's sort of like assigning parts in a stage play. You are the casting director. You decide who gets what part, and then you move from casting director to director. But you're also a part of the cast.
Mhm.
It's sort of like in the movies where you see the producer and they're also in the film. Is that sort of what we're talking about?
Yep. Yep. I
Because
know
you
what
can't play
I
all the
understand the
roles.
analysis.
Yeah, you can't play all the roles
You
in
can.
in the movie.
Nope. You can't, and we understand, and I want to make sure I make this clear. In the beginning, that's what you do. But
Yes.
eventually you don't do it. Actually, I had a client play this exercise. I made them take the strip of paper, write on the paper CEO, president, office assistant, all these different things. And I made them make it big enough to put on their head like a crown. And I said, and staple the back. So when you in your CEO role, I want you to wear that hat so you can focus. And here's the things, if you don't know, you can go research it. Here's what CEO does. When you are doing a VA job, I want you to pick up that hat and put it on. Everything else that happens, you can't touch your VA at the moment. And the reason is because we're humans and our minds will tell us about how many tasks we can get covered. I am against multitasking with a passion. You understand?
Mhm.
I'm against multitasking with a passion. And at times my mind wander, like not because I'm strict on myself. So I have to say I shut every tab down and I'm only working in Word. And I'm working in Word only. I can't get on Google Docs. I can't check Facebook. It doesn't matter how much messages come in. I am working on Word. I close everything down, and that is where my focus is pen and paper and word. I have to stay there and I have to wear that hat because that's all I'm doing. So
Oh my
I
God.
have to,
You know what? I see a bunch of headbands. You know how you have the Mickey Mouse ears?
yeah.
I have them around here somewhere. My granddaughter had them on this weekend. Um, but you take that headband off and you put this headband on that says CEO. Then you take it off
Take it off.
and you put a different headband on that says office assistant. Take it off when you're finished.
Yep.
Go to the side because it's a way of compartmentalizing these
Ex-
jobs.
Exactly. Exactly. And I was keeping the student focused. The girl was coaching me. I was keeping her focused because she had this problem with being focused. And each and every job that she was finishing, we actually departmentalized it in different days of the week, in different time slots. So everything was set up for her. And she had to take breaks in between, drink a glass of water, move around a little bit, get herself out of that mood to get back into the other mood.
To switch roles.
I love visualization for people. I like giving them tasks that they can actually see this in motion. So that also, here's the other thing about it. I wanted them to see when they hire people, they don't just assume that the people is doing nothing because some business owners think, well, I could have done that. Why would I want to pay her for
Yeah,
that?
they do.
You pay her because she's doing it, and you don't have to do it.
Yes, and now your mind is free to think about other things. So
Yeah.
what I hear you saying is that the water breaks and the little, turn around, stand up, turn around, whatever you need to do, it's like a costume change.
Bang,
Because
bingo,
now you
bingo.
shift your mind
Mm-hmm.
into the other role.
Other role, yeah.
Got you. Cecilia says that's a good analogy. You know, with the stage play, I guess, with the movie. Remember
The movie when you talk about a movie, yeah.
the movie. And, it makes you think about Mrs. Doubtfire. This also makes me think about there's a commercial that used to come on. I don't know if he's the Maytag salesman, but anyway, he would answer the phone and he'd say, "Hello, you've reached such and such." And they'd say, "May I speak to the manager? Could you hold, please? Hello, how are you?" It would be the same guy he would watch, and he would just change his voice, put people on hold, and let me send you to our customer service department. Hi, how are you today?
Customer service.
You've reached customer service. Can we have your account number? You know? But he was playing all the roles, and people didn't know it was just one guy in his garage. And that's basically what we're going through when we start out as solopreneurs.
Entrepreneurs. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's where we start. That's where most people, no matter how big the company is, there's this one guy or woman who decided that I can do this. And then they have to perform all these roles in all the things they can do. And if you don't understand and learn it, it's really hard to hire it out. Um, I got asked, we get asked this question a lot. People in our cleaning group is, if you never cleaned before, could you open a cleaning service? Of course you can. It's a little more difficult, but of course you can. If you run a company before, you can do it. If you haven't, you can learn how to do it. The difficult part comes into play. People who clean get annoyed when you tell them what to do if you don't know how to clean. You don't have to go clean somebody's house, but you better understand how it works simultaneously. You have to understand how taxing it is on the cleaning tech. You got to understand where their mind goes. You have to be able to be personal with them. And if you can be that way and empathetic, they're not going to stay with you. Every time I hear people say, well, I pay them well, but they still leave. You're missing so many other things in there. Let's get started.
Training, systems, all of that.
All that stuff that you don't want to dedicate time to because you think it's a waste of time. No, if you don't want to do it, then hire somebody to do it for you. But I know when they check into it, they realize how expensive it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because for somebody to train your girls, it costs you probably around $10,000 because it's a lot of work. And
you got to pay them while they're training.
Yes, it's a lot of work. So it's going to be expensive. But you could figure out what you want to do. But it's good for you to, even if a friend and I was talking about it, even if you don't want to go clean a bunch of people's houses, you can get friends. I mean, we're in the pandemic, so I get it. But before, you can get friends and ask 2 or 3 of your friends to come in, clean their houses, film that you're cleaning their houses, because when you go through the motion, if nothing more, clean your own house. So when you in a different mindset, no, not like I'm cleaning my house, in the mindset of systemizing
This
how
is
you
the
think.
lab. Mhm.
Yeah, so that when I speak to them, I have this relevancy, not something I read, because reading it and doing it is two different things. You got to actually do it. The professors I feel in college or university that is actually the people who've been in, I find they were my best professors. Their stories and the way they taught was
Yes.
totally different from the people who were just,
It makes it come alive.
yes. You want to go in those guys' class. I miss them when we are getting out of people's classes. We're like in there bored to pieces. But the people who was in it and who this was their thing, ah, everybody did well in those classes. I find
Yes.
so.
And probably much better in the industry because you understood it better and
Yes.
nuances of how it really operates day to day and
Mhm.
who matters in the chain of command.
Yeah.
Now, you said we were going to cover. Let's see, because I took notes. The role in business, the role you plan on playing, and why. Are we
Yes.
to the why now?
Yes. Let's get to the why. That's not hard, but it might be hard for some people. Why? We always have to have the why. You gotta know why you're playing the role now, and you gotta know why you're gonna eventually get there, and you gotta know the timeline and what it is for. When you open a cleaning company, if it's just to make money, don't listen to people say, well, it has to have a deeper meaning. No, it is just to make money. Eventually, whatever it's for, then you answer to that other why. Don't get worried about it's just to make money and it's not deep enough. It's what you have at the moment. My why is to make money. My why to know my role is whatever your why is,
You
own
know,
it.
I'm so glad you said that, Karen, because so many people say, "Oh, it's just about money. It's not important. You don't have a deep enough why. You got
Mhm.
you got to want to save the world, or you know what I'm saying to you? Seriously, or contribute to some major cause in a major way. Because I know that the people who watch this channel, we're all givers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But when they finish with you, they make you feel like you haven't given enough. Your
Yes.
dream isn't big enough to conquer
Mhm.
the world. Therefore, you need to go somewhere and just sit down. You don't want to run a business. Really?
And then people don't want to do their business because now they feel they're not, just as you said, they're not giving enough. But it's not true. We were givers before we decide to start this business and make money. So it's going to automatically happen anywhere. So if at
Exactly.
the moment you need to make money, the business is being open to make money, period.
To put a roof over your head and to supply your needs. And God says He'll supply all your needs. So your business is guaranteed to be successful. He said He bless everything you set your hand to. But if you
Mhm.
never set your hand to it because someone told you it wasn't big enough or whatever, now you never get started, right? So
Exactly.
I'm so glad you said that the why could just be about making a profit so that you can provide housing, food, shelter, the
Right?
basic things of life.
Yes. Yes. It because you went to work to make money. Who goes to work and don't expect a paycheck? I say this all the time. Like, you expect a paycheck when you go to work. So
Mhm.
don't be shy about this. Don't be talked into this nonsense because everybody's in business to make money. Every person, even the people who give away half of what they make, they are in there to make money. If not, they have nothing to give to anybody. So they're in there to make money to give to somebody. Okay? So you're in there. If that's your why, that's your why. If your why is different, it's fine. But don't let people swear you from that because that also make your mind goes into this crazy mood where you're not making money in your business. You're not making as much money in your business. It really hurts my heart when I speak to a potential client and they say to me, and I say, "You're covering all your expenses," and they said, "This is my full-time job." And I said, "Well, good. Let's get in there and see what else we're missing." And they said to me, "No, I don't make enough to survive. If I wasn't living at my mom, if I didn't move back in with my sister, there's no way I can sustain me. The
Mhm.
businesses are making enough money, and usually they could, but there's so many other reservations for what has happened and what people have told them that is stopping this stuff from happening. So
Mhm.
you're talking money."
So I'm so glad you said that needing income is enough So,
Yes. Let's face it, you got to look after yourself first. You're not selfish for looking after you. God don't come down and give it to us. He inspires us, gives us ideas. And you got to trust when he gives you that idea, even if you're feeling rough at the moment, that it's going to come through.
we were talking about this yesterday on the smart money class. We teach a smart money class for our church. And one of the things that we were talking about was reaping the harvest. We are great sowers. We will give, but do we ever go back and get the harvest? So when you put something in the ground, you expect it to come up, and when it comes up, has to be harvested, or it
Yes.
will just die in the field.
Exactly. But so many people have been shamed, and so many people will make people feel really horrible for just celebrating a win that you don't know how many years that person worked hard to get to. But
Hmm.
just you're just meeting them now. You're just seeing them now. You weren't there in the trenches with them.
When they were sleeping in their car, when they
Ah,
were living with their mom,
ah.
whatever it took to get there.
To get there. I once met a girl who she had to move back home, lost everything. She went to college, got a job,
Mhm.
lost a job, and had to move in her mom's spare room. And she was doing her crafting from the spare room, which means every night she has to take everything off the bed to go to sleep and then put everything back on the bed to get working. And she put a desk over her bed and down the sides, and that's where she did all her crafting. I know another girl who did it in her dad's garage. Like every day she would just show up, go in her dad's garage and do the work
Yes.
every day. But people love those stories. They don't love when you win. Not everybody, but a bunch of people who so sad. And I felt sad for them that they just need to pull people down.
Well, I want you to know, people, if you're watching this channel, we're with you. We're taking you off the struggle bus.
Yes,
We're
we're
here to
not
help you get off the struggle bus
there.
and and recognize that it's okay to make a living running your business.
Yes, I saw it on Facebook, and every time I see it, I'm like, okay, Karen, don't say anything. The lady else, all my strugglers, let's say, morning to all my strugglers. I'm like, what is this
Not trying to do all of that. I'm not trying to label myself as a struggler. He said his yoke is easy and his burden is light. I need to get somewhere, sit down, and figure out what it is that he's trying to show me.
emotion? Exactly.
Okay,
All
well,
right, guys.
let's summarize so that we can make sure that we've touched on all 3 points.
So all this month, we're talking about planning. And this segment today is just about what role do you play right now? And if you don't know, sit down and find out. And what role do you plan on eventually playing? And why? And if it's about the money, state it. It's about the money. Period.
Mhm. So, hey, look, the Girl Scouts ain't mad. They know when they sell them cookies, it's about the money.
I used to love the little ones who would say, like a little girl came, she knocked on the door. I said, I don't have any cash on me at the time. She goes, could I leave the cookies and come back Friday for the money? I was like, girl, you're a sales girl. Mom is like, she wouldn't let you go. I'm like, okay, I'll buy two. And she had some chocolate. You bet you Friday at 4 o'clock, she was at my door.
Hi.
I
I
said,
need to
girl,
collect them cookies, and while I'm here, do you want some more?
I admire her. Oh, she was like,
If we knew by Friday those cookies were going to be gone, you need another supply. I can remember that whole Girl Scout cookie thing. So, guys, if you've ever sold Girl Scout cookies or something of that nature, think about your business the same way. It's the
mm-hmm.
same customer. They customers operate the same way.
Same one.
It is
Same
a beautiful entrepreneurial um, experience and opportunity to learn how business works.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Girl Scouts take a Square now and all of that stuff. Cash out. They ain't playing with you.
No, but those days were cash. No.
Yes, I know. Yeah, we were cash and carry. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and certainly we would definitely leave cookies with our neighbors. We trusted them.
Yes.
We knew they weren't going anywhere. Mama
Yeah,
Annie was
everybody
going to
knows
pay
you.
you.
Yeah, we lived here so long. Everybody knows they're trusting. They're coming back. I mean, the front and the back door, whether it's a running marathon we're sponsoring or cookies or chocolate, Yeah. They're hitting
So with that, we want to thank you, Coach, so much
You're welcome.
for helping us to re-examine our roles in our business and to get our different hats
Yes,
situated and showing us how to transition.
Mhm.
Excuse me, how to transition from one role to another within our business.
Exactly.
Think of it that way.
Yes.
Cecilia says, look at here. She says, sounds like us women, we are cooks, house cleaners, drivers, babysitters, teachers, accountants, nurses, many hats.
Yes.
Sorry. No, but I get it, Cecilia. It makes sense. We already know how to do this.
Yes, exactly.
We just gotta superimpose that on our business. I love it. That was a great analogy.
Yes, it's so true. It's so true. We cover a lot of things. And next week, just a little teaser, next week we'll be talking about the budgets for your business. We're talking about budgets and sticking to it, and the money train continue right through this month. We're talking about this. We want to stop being shy on it, and we want to go into 2021 feeling like, what we're supposed to be, what we're doing. Understand this. We are created to do what we're doing. God gave us this idea. Let's not waste it. No.
Now, Coach, is there a reason why we have this Calendly in the chat?
Yes, every week now. My 30 minutes. That 30 minutes there allow you a free 30 minutes chat with me to discuss whatever it is business-wise that you need to talk about. So every week I'll drop my 30 minutes
consultation in there.
Yes.
Isn't that a blessing? And Cecilia says she can't wait till next week. You can have a 30-minute consultation with Coach Karen. Act quickly. Next week. I know she'd love to talk to you because you're here every week.
Yes.
And we love getting to know you. So with that, I want to remind everybody that tomorrow is what?
Thursday.
Girl, I'm losing track. I've been in the house so long. Tomorrow is Thursday. And on Thursday, we talk about healthy habits. Happy Healthy Habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. And I believe tomorrow we're talking beauty with Lakeisha. Guys, come on in. She's probably got some secrets for how to take care of ourselves since we can't go get that pedicure, manicure, or face wax, whatever's going on. Ask her some questions about how to handle that stuff. Okay, so with that, we want to remind you, go to the front of
your own line. Oh, this was like the best
day. Bye-bye, Coach. Thanks again. Have a great holiday. We are so looking forward to seeing you smile, guys.